Hi, Tim.
You sit.
Good to see you.
Likewise. Good to
Yeah,
have you on the screen again.
indeed. But I hope you had some good time off screen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the summer vacation is over,
Yeah,
sadly, but it was good. It's always good to take some time off, refresh, re-energize, do something very different, than we do in our day-to-day jobs. So that was really cool. What about yourself?
same. I also had some time off. Did things that I normally am not doing, right?
Mm,
Especially around family and when I have to travel back and so on. That was definitely
mm,
good and re-energizing as well. But now back to business. So it's the first week at work after summer.
mm,
Uh, yeah, but also that the time, the break helps get reflect on the certain things, right?
mm,
When we are in the fast-paced daily life and we get a break, it
mm.
does give us time for reflection.
It does. It does. It does. So what I've been reflecting on is the consulting job
Hmm.
itself, right? So because majority, let's say, if we what we do as a business, is consulting in different areas. um but that was inspired because I had an on-site visit myself just before I went on vacation. I know you traveled to a big shared service center of one of our clients as well. So that was maybe, let's say, what I was thinking, kind of the topic for today. If we now look at our 10-year journey, how you've seen, what you observe on, the consulting job itself, whether it's just the same as always, or you see any trends, any changes that have happened that you expect to happen.
I mean, a very interesting and relevant topic. I can go beyond 10 years, right? The beginning, how I started my career, even.
Please do.
Uh,
Don't restrict
and,
yourself
and things have
to a
evolved
decade.
quite a bit in the last 25 years. Um, Now, consulting means many different things. Let's talk about consulting in our business, which is
Mm,
IT consulting. Now, when I started as a developer and I was sent on site to a big multinational project where I was stationed at the headquarters of that big multinational company for many, many years. Yeah, part of the project team. You were part of the, traveling to the rollout sites in different countries, following the workshops, coming back, building stuff, going back, testing it, eventually go live, hypercare. So we had a few touch points. Yeah, and both at the center, right, where the project was run from, but also at the local sites where the rollouts were happening. Back then, I used to work for one project for many years, right? It was, yeah, my pre-open text days. Now, after that, when I moved to my second stage of my career, that on-site, being stationed at on-site, that changed a lot. So instead of being sitting at the customer's office every day, yeah, day in day out for the whole year, I did not sit in their office, but I traveled often. Yeah, a lot of work
mm,
was done remote, whether from the home office or from my employer's office, but I didn't see them every day. Right? We had calls, we had, yeah, different things. That was before the Teams thing. I mean, we had a Skype or
mm,
the VoIP phones, but uh, we didn't go that often. But again, maybe once every 2 months, kind of, to do a workshop and so on. So this is something, let's say, before 2020, right? And then after 2020, the world itself saw tremendous changes, both in, you know innovation, technical, and other reasons. So it became widely accepted that people could just work remote, and then we got tools, many different tools to optimize that experience, and that reduced to quite a bit, yeah, the face-to-face conversation. Now today, in the last 10 years, when we started the last 10 years, that was the cusp of this change of, which is making people more uh, comfortable sitting at remote locations and have used the tools available to them without physically being in the same room. Now, my reflection is, is great. It's great. We can work remote. We can work. We have a very uh, strong and widespread team in many countries, and we work very good with that. But when we are servicing our customers, right? When we work on projects, it's all about people. I mean, IT is the enabler. The software products we deploy are just enabling, but the users, the people who we do it for, are the real reason. And it's difficult to read people just on a half an hour screen call or a Teams call. If you spend a day or two with them, drinking coffee, being in the room, drawing on the drawing board, or just talking about certain things, it becomes much easier to communicate and exchange ideas, which you can never do on the email. So I think there's a lot of power in being in the same room, because first and foremost, it creates focus.
Mm,
Yeah, instead of every day, if you do it, periodically, people make time for that. They
mm,
get mentally prepared, you go mentally prepared, and the outcome is much more value added, if I
mm,
may, than just doing remote. Yeah, so
mm,
I think it's a very powerful medium to go and talk to people, and then the details can be worked out when you're back at
mm,
your home base. Yeah, so that's how see it has evolved from sitting at a customer every day, day in, day out, to having really quality discussions with our customers,
mm,
going back, work on it, and then come back and say, okay, does it meet or
mm.
has this solved the problem?
Correct, correct. I mean, I have similar observation, yeah. And as you know, we kind of, let's say, promote, yeah, slash push that we, invite or get invited at the customer, yeah, because the reality is most of the time we meet at our customers' locations. I do know in the last 1 or 2 years we've also had have hosted meetings where the customer came to our office. Yeah, that's of course also always an opportunity and a possibility. But regardless of which location it is, but really proactively, suggest it, because I've seen the value, right? I've seen the value add being really big, not only for us, yeah, because of course, we come back, we know what to do, and sometimes know there's more to do, so it has that, obvious advantage, but also for the client, I think, to get the relationship, but also get the clarity, on what are the priorities, who is doing what, etc. But you said one very, I think, key thing in this is because there are a lot of, easy enablers technology wise, like a team session and recordings, to interact and see each other, so virtually on a daily basis. But the key for the on-site is the preparation. Yeah, you just mentioned you need to come prepared, and I think that is key. Yeah, because it's not just, a relationship visit, or it should not be. Yeah, because it is very valuable time. So I always insist to say, okay, yes, even when we do it, so say, okay, where are we going, who are we going to meet, and that there is enough time and interaction, with the customer, to really prepare, a good agenda, yeah, with good topics, um, where some topics, we prepare on our end, other topics are, to be presented and prepared on the client side. But that preparation, I think, is super key. Yeah, preparation plus then, of course, whether it's a 1 day, 2 day, or even more, is of course, a solid follow-up, right,
Mhm.
after that. And I've seen it, I had the pleasure, to join a few myself, which was great. What I also notice is it actually brings the client people together,
Mhm.
which often we think, yeah, it's obvious they see and meet each other every day, but it's not the case, because very often they're also cross-functional teams, from different teams that come together as part of, let's say, of a project, yeah, under that project umbrella. So I had cases where, we also took him out for dinner, where people have not spoken to each other, yeah, on the customer
Mhm.
side for, years, or, or even never met each other. Yeah, so that's a kind of a, maybe a side effect, to say, okay, we'll also bring the client a bit more, closer to each
And
other. But it's that, kind of, good formula, I think, to bond with the relevant people in the project, and then be open about the things that, that do work well, and maybe the challenges that,
mm,
have been seen or that we're facing, and then, constructively address those.
I absolutely agree. One of the key differences, I have run workshops and meetings virtually as well as in person in a room. One of the key differences I have noticed is reading people. It is
Mm,
difficult to read people due, due to many reasons, right? Virtually, while you're in
mm,
a room, it's important for us to hear what is not being said,
mm,
right? I mean, of course, we always come up with a list of issues or a topics, and that has been predefined, but that is not black and white, right? There are many shades, and everyone might have an interpretation of it, and not everyone is clear about what the real problem is. Yeah, sometimes they come with the symptoms, but when you're inside the room and a certain topic is being discussed, by looking at people, following body language or side comments being made, you try to pick up the clues to say, okay, what is the real topic or the real issue that is not even on the agenda? And
mm,
that is only possible when you're inside a room. It could be a informal dinner, or it could be a workshop. I mean, that I have seen as the major difference compared to an online meeting, because online meetings are very time boxed. You have a lot of people, yeah, some from a camera
yeah.
on, some not camera on, all the different aspects. So
Mm,
for me, that has been really powerful, yeah, to be
mm,
inside the room. And also I
yeah.
believe for the customers, because certain impressions they had, when you start talking and then you start explaining and you get a different impression, they also get enlightened, right? Okay,
Mm,
of the different possibilities.
absolutely. So gains also in terms of efficiency
Absolutely,
and
absolutely.
productivity.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we have a lot of productivity tools. Like you just said, we have
Mm,
possibilities to record meetings and have AI transcribe it and all of that. But what none of them are able to do is to create the people connect,
mm,
right? I mean, those are a bunch of document they can concise and give it to me. There's a overview or look at a video or do many other kind of productivity tasks, but the people side is still to be handled with people. I mean, maybe one day something will come up, but not today, right? I
mm,
don't think there's anything out there that can give us that experience.
mm. Correct. Correct. And when they have an issue, we would still want them to consult the people and connect to a person and discuss the challenge. Uh,
But
but I
as long,
guess, and
yeah,
yeah, and that's a bit the bridge to in the modern days, with all the AI tools available, whether you already observe that first questions go to the AI, and then the consultant getting the question is
I mean,
kind of the second line.
this is evolving. What I studied in my masters when I was studying computers, yeah, the last millennium, let's call it. uh, I don't think those subjects are being used today, right? And
Mm,
even in my career, I have seen a few topics, come and go. So I see as a natural progression that certain things, new technologies, new tools are available to us to solve
mm,
essentially the same business problems. But at the end of the day, I believe if we are still solving problems faced by people, we need to deal with people. Now, there could be a different set of problems. Yeah, you might be setting a rocket autonomously to the moon and coming back. Yeah, that is something else that is, and there's nothing new. It has been happening since 1969 when first Neil Armstrong went to moon. So there was some kind of automation. Yeah, even back then, or the self-driving car. So those are different kind of automation and AI. But as long as we are
mm,
solving people's business problems, I think we cannot avoid dealing with people. So let's see how this all evolves. But as long as on the other side of the table there is a person, then we'll have different tools to bridge our
mm,
communication, the ways we bridge it, if not meeting in person. And I believe the real productivity hack is in developing the solutions,
mm.
right? Something that took maybe weeks or months now is possible to do in days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that part has, of course, enabled or sharpened even more. But the root of it, right? What do you want to solve? And then was it solved? Right? These two, you need to still talk to people.
Mm. I agree. I agree. And that's luckily the good part of the job.
Yeah, and I think that's the fun part of consulting, right? I mean, when
Exactly.
you have to talk to people and try to understand what they want and make sure they got it.
Exactly. All right, good, but great to catch up here
Same
after
here,
summer
Tim.
break.
Same here. And wish you a nice working week, a full week after
Same to you.
our break.
Same to you. And
Talk to
good
you again.
travel. And good travel to your customers.
Thanks. Thanks a lot. Talk to you
Bye
later,
for
Tim.
now.
Bye.